Have you ever heard of the greatest art heist that almost nobody talks about? It's a story with everything: audacious thieves, priceless masterpieces, and a mystery that baffled investigators for years. This isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is the true story of the Great Brady Heist. Our story begins in 1990 in the quiet, affluent town of Rusborough, Ireland. Here stands Rusborough House, a magnificent Palladian mansion that was home to Sir Alfred and Lady Bate, one of the world's most prominent art collecting couples. Their collection was legendary, featuring works by Vermeer, Goya, Rubens, and Gainsborough. It was a treasure trove, a private museum of unparalleled value. And on the night of May 24th, it became the target of one of the most notorious criminals in Irish history. The man behind the plan was Martin Cahill, better known as the General. Cahill wasn't your typical art thief. He was a charismatic, cunning, and utterly ruthless Dublin crime boss who had built a criminal empire. He was famous for his meticulous planning and his flair for the dramatic, often taunting the police who struggled to pin anything on him. For Cahill, the Rusborough House collection wasn't just about the money. It was the ultimate prize, a way to cement his legacy as a criminal mastermind. That spring night, Cahill's gang, armed and masked, descended on Rusborough House. They moved with brutal efficiency, disabling the alarm system and quickly overpowering the staff. The Bites, then in their 80s, were tied up but thankfully left unharmed. The thieves knew exactly what they were looking for. They weren't just grabbing random paintings. They were targeting specific, world-renowned masterpieces. They swiped to Goya, a Rubens, and to Gainsborough's. But the crown jewel of their haul was Johannes Vermeer's Lady Writing a Letter with Her Maid. This painting alone was considered priceless, one of only about 30 known Vermeers in existence. In total, the gang escaped with 18 paintings, valued at an estimated 30 million Irish pounds at the time. That's over $60 million today. The art world was in shock. The Irish public was outraged. The Great Brady Heist had just been executed. Now, you might think stealing such famous paintings would be the hard part. But the real challenge is selling them. You can't just walk into an auction house with a stolen Vermeer. The international art market is a tight-knit community, and these works were immediately flagged as stolen. They were, in a word, too hot to handle. So, what was Cahill's plan? It turns out, he wasn't looking for a conventional beer. He intended to use the paintings as collateral, a bargaining chip in the shadowy world of international crime. His idea was to trade the masterpieces for cash or even weapons from other criminal organizations. The paintings were his entry ticket into the big leagues of global crime. The Irish police, the Gardaí, launched a massive investigation codenamed Operation Trace. They knew Cahill was their man, but proving it was another matter entirely. The General was an expert at covering his tracks, leaving behind little to no forensic evidence. The investigation became a frustrating cat-and-mouse game. The Gardaí were chasing a ghost, and the world's masterpieces were hanging in the balance. For months, the paintings remained missing, tips and leads went nowhere. The art world held its breath, fearing the works might be damaged or lost forever. Then, a breakthrough came from an unlikely source. A low-level criminal, trying to sell one of the less valuable paintings, was caught in a police sting. This small crack in Cahill's organization was all the Gardaí needed. They began to slowly and carefully dismantle his network from the inside. Over the next few years, the paintings started to resurface one by one in the most bizarre places. One was found in the trunk of a car in Dublin. Another was recovered during a police raid in Turkey. But the most dramatic recovery happened in Belgium. In August 1993, acting on a tip-off, Belgian police set up an elaborate sting operation in Antwerp. They posed as wealthy buyers interested in acquiring the stolen art. The operation culminated in a dramatic showdown at Antwerp's airport. There, in the back of a car, wrapped in nothing more than old blankets, was the prize: Vermeer's Lady Writing a Letter with Her Maid. It had been on a 3-year world tour of the criminal underworld, but it was finally safe. Piece by piece, the stolen collection was reassembled. It was a monumental effort involving police forces from Ireland, Britain, Turkey, and Belgium. It showed the power of international cooperation in fighting organized crime. And what about Martin the General Cahill? Well, his criminal career came to a violent end. In August 1994, just a year after the Vermeer was recovered, he was assassinated in Dublin. It's widely believed he was killed by the Provisional IRA, supposedly in retaliation for his alleged dealings with a loyalist paramilitary group to whom he had tried to sell the paintings. The man who had orchestrated the greatest art heist in Irish history met his end, not in a prison cell, but on a suburban street. His death closed a major chapter in the history of Irish crime. The story of the great Brady heist is more than just a crime story. It's a testament to the enduring power of art. These paintings weren't just valuable objects. They were part of our shared cultural heritage. Their journey through the criminal underworld and their eventual return is a victory for everyone who believes that art belongs to the world, not to the highest bidder or the most ruthless thief. Today, many of the recovered masterpieces, including the Vermeer, are on public display at the National Gallery of Ireland in Dublin, gifted to the nation by the Bate family. They stand as a silent reminder of their incredible journey from a quiet country mansion to the heart of a global criminal conspiracy. And finally, back home, where everyone can appreciate them. The Great Brady Heist serves as a chilling, fascinating look into a world where priceless beauty collides with brutal criminality. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible true stories. Let me know in the comments what you think about this heist. See you in the next one.